Hello, guys. Good evening, and welcome to HumEdu Talk, Episode 3. Today, we'll be talking COVID. As you know, we are all living in unprecedented times, COVID-19 pandemic, unusual times, a time that we are experiencing for the first in our life. And as we all know, COVID has impacted us in so many ways, whether it be the healthcare system, a wider economic impact, or just impacting us as student leaders. And that will be the central focus today. So today we will be talking about how COVID has impacted us as student leaders. And this will be a cross-campus dialogue. We have reps from different campuses as it relates to UWI. So today joining us are Caleb Gardiner, who is the current Five Islands campus president, guild president. And as you know, Five Islands is the newest campus, the UWI family, and that is found in Antigua and Barbuda. Also on the panel will be Julianne Langman. She's the UWI Western Jamaican campus representative for the academic year of 2020 to 2021. Mr. Jevan Darden, who is the current humanities rep for UWI Mona, and is the Guild PRO elect for the 2021 to 2022 academic year. Next on the panel, we have Melanie Bino. She's the UWI Kville representative for 2020 to 2021. And Nanyamka Burnett. It's a nice name, by the way, guys. Nanyamka Burnett. She's a UWI Kville PRO for 2020 to 21. And she is the Humanities and Education rep elect for 2021 to 2022. Thank you all for joining us. Me know say we could eat with dinner or whatever, or watch two show. But we have taken the time out to be here. And I do appreciate you all for coming. So today, like I said, we'll be talking COVID. COVID has impacted us in so many ways, right? Like where mental health is concerned, strenuous financial burdens or whatever. COVID has been COVID and, we are tired of it. But at the end of the day, we have to find ways to cope. And today we'll be finding out how, as student leaders, we have been coping. And also basically we'll be giving some suggestions or some guidelines that will aid the upcoming student leaders like myself, because my name is Fabian Jerkett, by the way, and I am the new elected representative for Humanities and Education, UWI Mona. So, not to tarry, we're going to jump right in. First, I'm going to ask the representatives to just basically tell us what was their university experience like as a student leader. Like now I'm switching from the normal mode to a virtual space. We begin with you, Nanyamka.
Hi, good evening. First of all, thank you for having me. In terms of being a student leader, a lot of it had to do with mental health, as you said. So just ensuring that these students were, maintaining positive energy and stuff like that during the COVID virus. And, just putting out different things in terms of social media to make sure they were feeling good and keeping their spirits up. So I think a lot of it had to do with just boosting morale a little bit to just make sure the students were doing okay.
That is very important because, like I said before, mental health in a time like COVID is a big thing, and we have to find creative ways to actually keep people on track. And you finding creative activities to boost their morale is very important, very essential. Ms. Bino, what was your experience switching from the usual mode to online space?
It was unexpected because I sat on a committee before and everything was in person, and then everything switched to virtual, and you're just like, I don't know what to do, how to make students come to these events online, because you get tired of Zoom after a while, and it's like they don't want to come to the Zoom events. You're not doing anything new because you can only do so much on Zoom. So it was very eye-opening to me, and having to adapt was kind of hard, but with my committee, they made it easier for me to, switch over to this online format.
Okay, so that's important. So teamwork. You basically add your team to actually help you to cope in these times. Okay. Mr. Javon Garden, what was your experience like?
All right. So, my problem was already the Faculty of Humanities and Education at the UWI. They have a problem. There's an engagement problem, especially, and that is what I wanted to elevate in terms of having people engage in the different activities, because these activities will make it holistic. I don't want to go into the different type of activities as yet because we have that coming down. But what my committee did was brainstorm, how are we going to transition these activities that we have planned throughout the whole year into a virtual format and still reap the same benefits as we did. And it lasted a day for us planning, and you have all the Zoom coming out. So like Nick Carr was there planning the graphics and how to register the Zoom on YouTube. And I had to ask my friend Danielle Mullins, because she's techie, and say, how you do your pageant online? How you do that online? How you do the virtual, whatever. So it was kind of a learning experience, even though it was hard. And as a faculty rep, you need to be aware of the issues that is going on in your faculty. So you had to create online spaces so you could hear the issues. So you have a Google Forms with persons. Some persons have hours where persons can just come in that hour and talk about their problems. But I had an open forum. Anybody can jump in my WhatsApp and I see how best I can help, and the emailing system. So it was a lot of mechanization in getting in place. How are we going to do the things that we did face-to-face online? So it was really a hard and a learning process for me.
Okay, and Javon, you said like you gave persons the opportunity to jump into your WhatsApp. At any point, didn't you find that kind of a little strenuous?
All
Like
right.
finding it hard to respond to messages and all?
When you start out especially I was first year and going into a big position like the guild. So already persons were like, I want a first year come on and do another run for guild. So when persons started WhatsApping me, I said that, yo, we need to answer all of these WhatsApp messages, because persons, like I say, him drop the ball, him do this and do that and do that. But over time, you have to have a system. So what I did was segment a part of the day in just responding to messages in my email, responding to WhatsApp messages, rather than at 3 o'clock in the morning, you're up WhatsApp in person, because you have to balance academics and the leadership position as well, because it's academics first. So even though in the first part, I was, answering everybody and all of that, because I didn't want to perceive as, a lazy fear. But after a while, I developed a system and it worked. It worked out.
Okay, wonderful. So guys, before the end of the day, I want you to have a little list, right? So Javon just gave us a list. I mean, he just gave us a point, right? So first thing I want you to write down for me is maintaining a balance is key. Delegate. Maintain a balance is key. Delegate. Caleb and then Julian.
All right, thank you so much for allowing me to be here. So for the 5 islands experience, it was very interesting. As you know, we are fairly new. So right now in our Faculty of Humanities and Education, it's I think 46 students, and majority of all of the students are currently teachers, because we offer a bachelor's degree in science, mathematics, and curriculum education. So these students are mature students who have families, children, and they're working. So the system here is a bit different. So it was a bit difficult to get engagement, right? Because as you know, everybody have their families and so forth. It was very difficult. However, as Javon said, I tried my best to speak to everybody. So our group chat was our little safe space, as they like to call it. And we would talk. I would, get feedback, and basically because I couldn't be there with them, I think being supportive, being able to listen and find creative ways to keep them engaged was just a way for us to bond. Because at Five Islands we only have 300 students, including myself at the moment. So that faculty was basically a family. And yeah, we found creative ways like that. So it was pretty good. I think we had fun.
Okay, that's nice. I'm glad to hear that you had fun. And a valid point that you made, creativity is always important because, as we all know, we switch to something that we are not accustomed to, right? And persons will probably find certain things boring, so you have to find creative ways for them to actually adapt. So that is very important. Julian, what was your experience like?
Hi everyone. So basically, my experience, it was really challenging. Transitioning from a face-to-face format to an online platform, it was a difficult task. However, we got most things correct. My biggest problem was communication in terms of reaching out to the students of my faculty. Because as we all know, in Jamaica, you have the UWI Mona campus and you have the UWI Mona Western Jamaica campus. Now, for the Western Jamaica campus, basically, it's not a lot of us overall, especially in the humanities and education faculty. And similar to K level, most of the students in my faculty are adults, people who work and who have limited time. So the time that they would spend in regards to school would just be for assignments and to just be successful in their coursework. So in terms of creating initiative, that was my biggest task. However, even though the online was difficult, we also used the online platform to motivate each other. We use it to keep a track on various year students. We use it as a mentorship program in terms of third year students helping out second year and second year helping out first year. So the online platform basically helps us to motivate each other, move well as a family, and be successful in our courses. However, in terms of initiatives, it was really a difficult task. And up until this moment, I am still working towards that.
I do understand it. We're living in difficult times, but just trust the process. Eventually, we will get there. Okay, guys, so now we're going to be talking about how your tenure has basically improved you as an individual, right? Because we know that there are pros and there are cons as it relates to COVID. So we're not going to talk about the negativity right now. We're going to talk about how it has improved us as an individual. So you guys, anyone can go first.
All right, so I will start off. In ter- Being the humanities and education rep was a big stepping stone for me in terms of leadership. Before I was a part of like NSSC and past leadership positions, but this was kind of this was one of the hardest positions that I went into in terms of not only your not only you're representing a faculty on an internal basis, but it's very external because you have to work with administration, work with the wider guild, as well as work with within your faculty and getting those events out, and as well as being the leader for a committee. So conflict resolution, getting everybody engaged and motivating them to do their events and helping in any way you can, even though you probably have administrative duties and other things constitutionally to do. So it's all about, I believe that as a person, it has developed me and taught me that I have the capability to lead in that capacity and in that magnitude, because even though I'm still baffled how I did it, but because of the great committee that I had and all my friends motivating me, it has really been a very interesting and educational journey.
That's awesome to hear. That's awesome.
I can go next. Um,
Yeah, sure, sure.
I by nature, I think that I am a very shy person. So it kind of shocked me that I decided to put myself up for service. I don't know what was going through my mind, but I was like, you know what? My faculty needs somebody to do this, so I'll do it. I think that it has shown me that I have a lot of strength and patience that I did not know I had originally. And it taught me to be more level-headed and to, show my creative side more often. Yeah, and it made me quick on my feet with unexpected challenges because, you go to meetings and sometimes somebody will be like, well, this or this. And you're like, okay, let me think, how should I say this so that I won't, step on somebody's toes or misguide this person. So yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
guys.
patience is definitely a lesson COVID has taught us. That's really a good point. Go ahead, Julian.
As for me, thanks to this whole school year platform online, it has really added to my endurance level. I'm not saying I doubted myself, but I really wasn't sure I was able to hold so much pressure. Similar to Javon, you had to be multitasking in various areas. So not only do we have our personal lives, but you have different aspects of your school life, not just pulling through as a student on your own, but then to lead in a whole faculty. So my ability to not quit, the challenges that I endured, no matter how hard it got at times, my committee worked well with me just the same. And I am really appreciative of that. So I am just so proud to announce that today I can say strength is an understatement, but endurance, just my endurance throughout the whole semester was at up top for me.
All right, I guess I'll go next. For me, a lot of it was kind of learning how to take assistance and help from the people around me because I would have taken up the position of the foreign language club president at the time. And to kind of take assistance from people like Melanie and stuff that were in leadership capacities to kind of help me, how to manage my time and, manage the different responsibilities so that I put my best foot forward in terms of serving the students. I think the teamwork and just relying on the people in your committee and the people around you, just so that you do your best work. I think that was one of the major things for me.
Awesome.
All right. So basically, Javon, Melanie, and Julian took my points. First of all, patience, endurance, strength, and most important, resilience. Although personally, I think the COVID-19 worked out in the best interest for me because I think as an individual, it allowed me to grow and to be creative and to learn how to adapt and to deal with people and so forth. Um, so it's a case where the patience level to deal with somebody who's going through so much things, right? To be a listener, to work on communication because you over the phone and persons might get a wrong tone and those kind of things, right? So communication and being a good listener, and having the strength to pull up other person because many persons were struggling, and as an individual, yeah, I was going through my things as well too, but I had to be strong for other people. So it was double strength and double endurance. So that's one thing. But I think teamwork, as I think Ms. Burnett said, that's what got us through. Because sometimes you can't do it alone. You have your low days, but when you have other persons who take the initiative and are proactive, it makes the job easier.
Exactly, it makes the job a lot easier. And I have to repeat this: no man is an island, no man stands alone. Especially in COVID, we have to have someone to lean on, right? The songwriter said, "Lean on me when I'm not strong." That's really and truly COVID. We can't take up things by ourselves and say we do this by ourselves because then if we do that, we're going to crumble, basically. So teamwork, mental fortitude, patience. We're gonna need patience in the long run. Would that be in your family? Because the children are gonna get worse, and all the way to have opinion them. That's all. We're gonna get more than have opinion them, and they're gonna get worse. And we have to have patience with them. And in the workplace, we have to have patience. So those are some very important lessons that we have learned, and I'm very happy to hear that. Apart from the negativity, actually COVID has impacted us in positive ways. That's wonderful. Okay, guys. So next part of the discussion now,
Okay,
we're going to be talking about.
if it is okay to add, Fabian, I think what we can also take
Oh,
from
sure,
Caleb,
go ahead.
what we can take from Caleb is his phrase when he said, "Be strong for the people." So especially most of us who are going forward in other leadership positions, not being sure if school is going to be virtual or face to face, we need to make that our second note for this meeting: be strong for the people. So Javon, take it up.
You guys, you heard it. That's your second note on the list. Be strong for the people. Okay, so yeah, the next point in the discussion now, we will be talking about. Basically, I just want you just to outline what you have been grateful for the most during these times.
Well, the first thing is life. As you know, many persons lost their life over this period, and to be able to have life and good health, I think that's a major blessing. And your loved ones who are with you each day. So that's the first thing that I would be thankful for.
All right, nice scale of life. For me, what I've been grateful for is just the my if humanities and education, they took note of some of the tips that we started out in the semester, in navigating the whole university space, and that is support groups and having each other backs. And with that, you have seen such a integration in that aspect, because one of the main platforms for me was integrating the faculty. And being in the online space, we've achieved that, especially among the first years coming in with the group chat and all the events for interaction. So it fosters a supportive spirit on a whole, and even exams, you could have seen that with persons sending resources to people and sending tips and so forth, in addition to our mentorship program, because that is one of our flagship programs. So in that aspect, you have seen such a support, and even as a rep, it made my job so much easier, with persons having each other backs and support, and coming out to all our faculty events, and helping each other with administrative things and problems that have been going on. So for me, what I've been grateful for is the support I've seen and the integration, even though there are ways to go, but support and the integration and just the camaraderie and the family spirit that I felt throughout the period.
Wonderful, wonderful.
So, guys, what I am mostly grateful for, which I think a number of us might agree, is after all this time being online and with our tasks and challenges, my mental health is still a bit intact. I love that I am doing well with my courses and the other aspects of my responsibilities, but my mental health is the most important thing to me at this moment. And I am truly grateful I could be here in this meeting, understanding, comprehending and communicating with you all.
Okay, Julian. So the fact that you are giving thanks for your mental health is a big thing, because really and truly, that is something a lot of students are struggling with. And you say you are doing well in school just the same. That's wonderful. You actually have a testimony. I love that. Um, Nanyamta. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing your name.
No problem. I can definitely reiterate what Caleb said about having life. We must be really grateful for just being able to be here with one another in these moments. But definitely, my family and my friends, they're always such a strong support system, to keep that mental health in check and just keep you stable during these times and just bringing everybody together. So, definitely, friends and family.
Um, I would say that I'm grateful for my Artbeat family. They were very understanding this year with us and patient, and they came out to events even though they didn't have to. They still showed their support, and I'm grateful for my committee, and I am grateful for you because you really helped us step up in the last bit of our tenure, because you came on last, so they're us and pushing us along.
Okay, nice. And guys, I am grateful for life. All of us should be grateful for life, because at the end of the day, the fact is that A lot of people are dying. Millions of persons across the world are dying, and we are still here. We have to give that thanks for that. And I'm also grateful for a support system. I do have people in my circle who actually support me. Like they keep me going. So we have to be ever so grateful for that, basically. Okay, guys. Next point in our conversation today. So basically, we are going to talk about the factors that helped us to motivate ourselves during our tenure. So what factors motivated you during your tenure? We start with Miss Burnett.
I would have to say that eagerness to serve, it was maintained and sometimes even driven further because of the situation we were in, having to help other people. So I think that willingness and that readiness to assist was pushed forward in the sense that, have to make sure that the students are okay as well, so that that's part of your job as the reps and stuff like that. You're gonna make sure that the students are okay. So I think that that was one of the main things that was important during this time.
Yeah, I totally agree with Naomi Haka. In addition to the eagerness to serve, some of the factors that motivated me was one, my committee, they understood the assignment, they understood what we wanted to achieve this year, and they indeed executed that seamlessly down to the very end. Because I know sometimes as counselors, when we're coming down to the wire, that we get kind of tired and we lay it back and just watch the year end. But my committee worked till the end of the semester, and we ended off with this event actually, but before it was the Miss Humanities and Education event. So just the support from my committee, in addition to internally the zest to just be effective and get and the passion that I had to rebrand the faculty in a sense, like improve on the branding in a sense, and put measures in place so that persons before me can build on it and build on a foundation and improve what we've done and make our faculty, especially at the UWI Mona, one of the best faculties out there, and just bring back the name out at the faculty, because indeed just the faculty as a whole is a pool of just creativity and talented persons, and we carry that out in our events and all of that in our committee, and the support from everybody was just a motivatory factor for me in my tenure, and just to continue even down to the last.
I would have to agree with Nyamka. The students really were a huge motivator because you signed up to represent them on campus, and you don't want to do a bad job, so they pushed me to continue to represent them at the best of my ability, and that was my huge motivator.
And as for me, similar to Javon, as a student leader, I have to admit that I did fall short a couple times well, and my committee was the persons who were there to back me up. However, another thing that really motivated me was Javon Gordon and his committee, because at the beginning of the semester, you were told to get in contact with your Mona counterparts. And I had been in contact with the Javon for some time, especially seeing that we're even in the same class groups. So just seeing him and his committee work and my committee involvement with them when we had Ronaldo Burke from my committee on the HumEd talk just the same. And now he is the elect for the Humanities Education Representative 2021 to 2022. So I must say that for Javon and Mona Committee, you guys were really influential towards us.
So factor was, I would say, the importance to build a foundation here at Five Islands, being a new campus, being the first guild president, being part of the first guild council, the task was to create a foundation for future generations or for many other years. So I felt it was it was a case where the students depend on me and on the Guild Council to start something, to create a student experience, to let it feel as a real campus. So I would say the students' needs and creating that feeling that they could enjoy, the UWI was the main motivating factor.
Okay, that's nice. That's awesome. And so now, during the COVID-19 pandemic, we were not able to have events like we usually had them. So we had to go to the online space to kind of tweak certain events to make them still beneficial. So now we'll be talking about how these events, change our lives and basically um, what are the good events, what events we had difficulties with. Just basically an overview, your experiences with the humanities events while being online.
I can go first. So I'll always remember my first event as Humanities Rep was the first ever Caribbean Literature Day that we hosted, and we had a lot of Caribbean authors come out. And I thought to myself, this event is bad. All the rest of your events are gonna be bad. Nobody's gonna come to them. You need to make sure that they go well. And I was just freaking out. But that was my favorite event that we had, and I would like to highlight my literature rep. She's the one that planned it, and she is also an author, and it was very well attended. We also held our week of activities, which was, hard to plan because it had to be virtual, and I had originally planned for a lot of parties and a lot of fetes, and couldn't happen. So I had to tailor them to still make them somewhat exciting, but in a smaller format, a smaller scale. So I had like an alumni chit chat where I had persons come and speak to the students about where you can go with your degree, because a lot of us think that you get this degree in humanities and then you don't do anything else with it. You go to teach. And that's not always the case. Not all of us want to be teachers. Some of us have bigger aspirations. There's nothing wrong with being a teacher, but it's personally not for me. Then we had like a games night, and people actually came out and enjoyed it. And I was like, okay, well, now I can do this. It's online, but I can do it. Yeah, so that's what I have to say about my activities.
Okay, Melanie, but were there any events that you actually had difficulties with? At any point, you were like concerned if persons will attend because,
Yes. So one of the events that I thought that nobody was going to attend was actually also the alumni chit chat, because in humanities, a lot of our classes run late. So we finished at like 8 o'clock. So you have to plan around that. And I was saying, people maybe were not gonna come because they're probably tired from classes, or they don't want to hear these people talk about this degree and stuff. And then, some of the speakers dropped out last minute, and I had to rush around and find speakers to come and things. So, I was a bit worried about that event. That's one of the events I was most worried about. But yeah, worked out in the end. So.
Okay, guys, before anybody else goes, this is another tip. So she said that speakers dropped out, and so always have a backup plan. That's going to be very essential. Always have a backup plan. Okay, then. Julian.
Okay. So as I would have mentioned earlier, my biggest challenge was with my initiatives. So far with my faculty, we really haven't had any major successful events. What I can attest to is our internal communication and support, in which I believe that 90% of my faculty really is just focusing on the courses and just getting their degree, because they're adults, they have other lives ahead of them. So it's just our internal communication, because I wouldn't say we necessarily had virtual lines, but we had our chats, our Zoom calls, our get together points where everything would be about us, we would be the focus. So that is what I can attest to in terms of smaller initiatives and not a major one.
All right, I can go after Julie. Um, at Mona, we took a very I'm trying to pick the right word. We took a very purposeful purpose way in choosing our events in terms of we didn't want to just keep events for events' sake because we didn't want to stretch or on the budget and ourselves thin. So we chose events that would foster holistic development for our students, and I think that in itself worked out to our favor because we chose events like we had a party, so that was the opening party just to keep everybody excited for what will have to come. And then we have the Health is Wealth seminar, and that is where we focus not only on physical health, but mental health also. So that persons, and it was even in the first semester too, so it set the tone on how persons can navigate the university space, especially our first years and our finalizing students. And then we move on to different kind of events like what can I do with my humanities degree? So it's somewhat similar to Melanie alumni talks in telling persons what they can go and do after they do this degree, and professional and persons who are already made their mark on you on the world. So it was kind of a motivation for persons to say that humanities degree can even bring you further than some of these traditional degrees. So the what can I do with my humanities degree was a success. The mentorship program, it was amazing. It was not just about peering persons, but having seminars and having Zoom meetings that persons come in and talk about different topics like personal branding and so forth, and also our creative events and our creative seminars and all of those. So I don't mention all of them, but it's hard to choose an event that I wasn't pleased with, because a lot of them were very thought through, and my committee members worked very hard in getting these events out, especially in an online format. We have to have a backup after backup after backup, and I know some of you guys were aware of the backstage. So right now my WhatsApp have a lot of backstages and we just need to delete them right now, but we have a lot of backstage group chats and different groups for different purposes so that it can go as seamless as possible. So I really like that aspect, and like many persons, I fear that persons wouldn't come out and it wasn't going to get enough attraction from our students because of our history with engagement. But we had this bulletin and keeping persons updated. So very annoyingly, we email persons and say 5 minutes to go, 1 minute to go. So if you never see an email first, you're gonna see an email. So all of those coming together, I think that we really put out our all in our events, and they're very purposeful, and it geared towards a holistic development of our students.
Right. So essentially, we're not only having events for events' sake. At the end of the day, they should form a purpose, right? Or impacting students in positive ways. It's very important. Um, who else is remaining?
I'm
Caleb,
next,
I
right?
think, and Miss Garnet. You can go ahead. You can go ahead.
Yes. So for us, what we did, the first thing that we did was a games night, and that basically got everybody together. It was on Independence Day for Antigua, because majority of our students are Antiguans. About 98% are Antiguans. So we came together. We had a games night. Everybody, about our history, and we had the other students coming in and trying to guess as well. So that was one way in which we got to meet new people from across our three schools. But the two most impactful events we had was one, a stress management webinar. Um, a clinical psychologist and counselor, she came and we had a little webinar with her. And I was surprised to see that many students were able to speak about what they were going through. So students were just saying, "Hey, I'm going through this," and it felt like a Dr. Phil moment, right? Everybody was just coming and pouring out their hearts and trying to find ways to cope. And in the chat, everybody was like, "We support you. We're here for you. You can do this." That was one of the best moments I've had. And we learned about different stressors and things we could do. The second one was the World of Work webinar, in which we held in partnership with the other guilds as well. And that was a series in which, for between January 17th and March 21st, on each Sunday, we basically had a speaker come and to give topics on how we can prepare for the world of work. So it was like how to maneuver on the online learning environment, transformational leader, preparing persons for the world of work. And I thought that one was not going to be well supported, especially from the different campuses. And not everybody have lives. On a Sundays is the most busiest time, and that was really good. To see different persons from Mona, Cable, Santa Augustine Open Campus. That was the one girl at work. So that was one thing that I was really happy with. But yeah, it was pretty good. Those are my two favorites.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Gardiner. And Miss Bernie?
Okay, so for me, I would have been the public relations officer. So I would have done more initiatives geared towards social media and, just different campaigns. So we would have done the International Women's Day poster competition. And I was really, really nervous about the submissions because a lot of them came in like very close to the deadline. But just to keep that engagement on the social media and stuff like that with different campaigns, even for Black History Month and that kind of stuff. But my favorite event would have had to be for the language club where we just had a long meet and greet and played some Kahoot games and stuff like that in the foreign languages just to keep everyone engaged. And the reason that was so great is because, afterwards in the language club group chat, everybody would have been messaging saying, like, I really need this to help me depressurize and, just relax a little bit. And that part, just to be able to assist in that way was really big for me.
Okay, thanks a lot, guys. So we're working on a time limit because we all know that everyone has busy lives and all. So we're down to the meat of the matter now. So we'll be talking briefly about the plans that you guys have for the upcoming break and new academic year, especially if you're still going to be a student leader.
All right. So for me, I'm transitioning into the UE Mona Guild PRO. So I'm going to go to Namyaka for advice, and she was a PRO last year, and see how to navigate a whole space. So our committee, the Humanities and Education Committee for Mona, this is our last event, but we're still here for the students in terms of if they want help with studying and other administrative stuff. Our committee is still open. The issues report form is still open, and we're looking for it, and we're still receiving those emails. So for that's our and we're helping Fabian to transition into the role as well, and he's doing a good job so far. So as the Guild PRO, in essence, what I wanted to do is advance the social marketing campaigns that we have to do, rather than just using the social media pages to just post things that are happening in the Guild. We have such an impact and such a following at the Mona campus, where we can change social behaviors and make persons aware of different issues that are needed. So I wanted to continue that in that aspect, as well as not only as a PRO social media is relevant, but in terms of how we can curate the space and help others who are interested in communications and PR. So events catered in that purpose, and developing the other PROs as well. So that is some of the things I have planned into the position that I'm going into.
For me, one of the main things I want to do is kind of build on the communication and make sure that it's a little bit more open between the faculty and the students. So just reaching out to them, seeing what kind of events they'll want to attend during the semester and the things that they need a little bit more. And as Melanie would have said, doing the stuff like in terms of what you're going to do after your degree, making sure that there are those avenues for them to just interact with persons that have done the things they would like to do so that they know where they're going to go in the future, and just giving them the opportunities even in terms of volunteer work to start looking at the future a little bit more. Those are some of the main things that I want to do.
Wonderful.
Okay, and as for me, WJC isn't as far as Mona and the other campuses as yet with the elections list. However, I am interested in the role of cultural entertainment affairs chairperson. Now, the first thing that I plan to do in this summer break is go back to the drawing board And of course, I have to start figuring out how I'm going to select a new committee. With that being said, when initiatives as a HumEd rep this year was my biggest issue, being the CEAC, I have a larger cohort to work with. And not only would this consist of working people, but other students, myself, in my specific age group, about 20 to 25 years, who will be more willing and available in terms of creating events and initiatives for the UWI Western Jamaica campus. So as for me, that is my focus right now.
All right. So for me, I'm in my final year, so I'm graduating this year. Thank God. Um, Wait, so basically, my main focus right now is to finish the last couple of weeks of my exams and finish up and get ready to graduate. But um, I've already been told by the incoming guild president and by our Five Islands admin team that I can't go anywhere. I have to stay here to guide and to help the incoming guild, as well as to be with admin to help them. Um, so that's one thing. I know being student leader was pretty fun. I told them I want to retire for the time being, but the passion is still there, and I would definitely help out in any which way I can, because the love I have for UWI and for Five Islands is something that I would cherish and will never let go of.
Yeah, man, Caleb, that's very important. They need you to lean on, so you have to stay there and actually give them guidance. Okay, guys, so like I said before, we're, we're coming down to the end. And before we go, I would just want each person to kind of give some advice to the upcoming guild, Humanities and Education Guild of students and the respective campuses as they take on this new academic year.
Okay, I can go first. I would advise you guys to not be so hard on yourself and don't stress. If you feel that you can't help everybody, you need to pick and choose, what you think is or what is most important, and stay true to yourself, because you put yourself up for service for a reason, and you need to make sure that you execute your plans to the best of your ability, and to take care of your mental health and take some mental health breaks, and just try your best and keep an open mind and try to communicate openly. Don't show bias, just be open.
Julian, you are muted. I'm still not hearing you, Julian.
Oh, you're hearing me now?
Yes, we are hearing you now.
Yes, so I was saying, in regards to everything that Melanie was just saying, all of that should be intact. However, I believe that for the humanities and education representative, one of the main things that you should do is put yourself in the shoes of almost every category of students in your faculty. So students within my age group who doesn't necessarily need or have a job, students who are adults with families, students who have other priorities and cannot basically be a part of everything. Just put yourself in their position and try to create strategic, strategic ideas and the processes of how you are going to create your initiatives in order for everyone to feel and be involved.
Yeah,
Yes,
I
exactly.
actually want to build on what Julie said, and I actually wrote them down because I never want to mess up this moment for Fabian especially. But being my advice for persons, especially the rep going into humanities, is have an authentic vision, have a clear idea, and try to achieve as much as possible what you have on your manifesto, even though you probably don't do all of them, but the core things that you go into to to change the faculty, because every leader has a certain mark that they want to leave. So having an authentic vision, and persons will gravitate towards an authentic vision once they see you laid out there. Other one, lead by example. You can't command respect just by the virtue of having the position. Like, oh, just because I'm humanities and you made rep, I'm going to get that respect from people, and persons are going to take me seriously. Leading by example, and just being there for people, and don't disrespect like a committee members and persons within the faculty, especially. That is going to be kind of detrimental for your reign. But doing it in a way that you're not there, not you're not you don't have to be friends with everybody, but just having that type of rapport with everyone, it will enhance your leadership, especially. And communication is such a vital and important thing, especially with your committee members and persons within a faculty. If you don't communicate with them, they're going to feel as if you're not doing anything. So you're the committee members, conflict resolution, keeping them engaged, talking to them not only in the WhatsApp group but personally as well, and communicating with the faculty members in terms of not just sending a post in the WhatsApp group and say, come out guys, but having little chats with them in and outside WhatsApp groups and other communication medium will help a lot. Other thing is that motivate, empower, motivate, and inspire. So while you're in the leadership position, and you're reaping all the benefits, and you're developing yourself, it's important that you let those same benefits and same things that you're reaping be transferred to somebody else or other persons in the faculty. So empower, motivate, and inspire them so that they can probably become the next humanities and education rep, or go into a leadership position and give service and develop themselves. And the last thing is to be present. As the faculty rep, you don't just have your committee to worry about, and you don't just have the faculty to worry about. You have the faculty admin, you have the university admin, and you have the guild overall to worry about. And being the faculty rep, persons might say you're probably over this, so, but essentially faculty reps are one of the most important positions at the guild, because that is the bridge between the executive and the guild overall and the administration and the actual students of the faculty, and hearing their voice. So you're just the microphone, and you're amplifying their voices. So it's important to be present, know what is going on in your committee, and knowing what is going on in your faculty on a whole, and just be of support in any way you can. If there's an event going on, see how best you can help the person who is flagshipping that event. And if there's an event you want to put on, see how best you can bring persons on and just develop and hone their skills and their tasks. So that is my advice for persons who are going into the next phase of the career.
Man, come with a list. Love that.
Well, I'm gonna close my book because yeah. So Javan covered all my points. So what I'm gonna say is that just be yourself. Be a leader. Listen. Practice emotional intelligence. That is a skill that you would need, especially to understand your students and to feel or have a sense of what activities or what you can do to enhance the faculty, and have a support group, because everybody won't like you, you'll hear a bunch of negative things, but try to stay positive, practice, keeping your mental health intact, be positive, say every morning you get up, say a little prayer, start off right. Always plan, time management, planning, those are crucial things. And I'm winging it right now because Javon said everything else, but I think those are things that he left off.
Well, since I'm incoming, I'm doing a lot of the note taking in terms of the points that Javon would make and Melanie and stuff like that. But one of the things that I would add is definitely to take care of yourself as well, because you can only serve your best when you are your best. So just, make sure you take the time for yourself, check on your mental health just as much as you check on everyone else so that you can be the best leader you can be.
Okay, guys. Thanks. Everybody went, right? Okay, so thanks a lot for those tips. I'm sure that they will be helpful for the incoming field of students where humanities and education are concerned. And thank you all for coming, guys. I can't even find adjectives to describe this evening. It was a wonderful, it was a wonderful dialogue. And I'm very happy that it was cross campuses and all of that. So regionalism is very important, right? So we are hearing different perspectives. So, students watching can actually take a leaf out of your book and everything like that. And guys, thanks again for coming. Javon, big up yourself. Miss Bino, Mr. Gardiner, Miss Longman, and the female with the nice name, the Nayamka Burnett. But yeah, guys, thanks a lot for coming. I enjoyed hosting this. I'm kind of new to this thing, but it was wonderful either way. And go on and enjoy your dinner. Enjoy your dinner and happy studying. So thanks again, guys. Bye.
Thanks for coming.
Okay, and
Thank you for
Thanks for
having
this,
us.
man.
you said that you're new to this host.
Right?
Yeah, I'm new to the hosting thing.
Yes, you did a really good job.
Thank you. Thank you, I'm honored.
Yeah, well done, mate. Anybody have dinner? I don't have any dinner.